Hey, what's up guys? I'm Steve Wells, and as we come up on New Year's and look back at 2020, not everything went according to plan necessarily, but there were some awesome shoes that came out this year. So I thought it would be appropriate as my last video of the year to talk about some of my favorites that came out this year. So this is going to be my top 5 running shoes that I wore in 2020. So to make it on the list, the shoe has to be one that I own, one that I've run in a good amount, and also one that not only I like, but one that I think that a lot of other people would like as well. So let's start off with number 5, and that is the New Balance Hierro. So I definitely wanted to put a trail shoe on this list. However, this is actually the only trail shoe that I have that came out in 2020. But also, this shoe is the one that I've been doing most of my trail workouts in this year. I have been wearing the Timp 2 a little bit that I'll be talking about in a future video. However, this is the one that I have been wearing on 90% of my trail runs this year. So this shoe makes it on the list at number 5 because it's a good versatile trail shoe. It has lugs on the bottom, but not anything super aggressive. So if you had to run on the pavement a little bit, it wouldn't be the end of the world. The only reason that this shoe isn't a little bit higher up on the list is because I have a little bit of issues with the fit, but it's not too big of a deal. A little bit too soft in the midsole and a little bit too heavy. But other than that, this is probably my favorite trail shoe that I have done a good amount of miles in 2020. Number 4 is the Nike Air Zoom Pegasus 37. So I'm going to be doing a video on this in a couple of weeks. I'm not sure exactly when, but whenever that comes out, I'll put a card up in the corner here. And if it's not out yet, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that way you can see when it comes out. So when it comes to cons with this shoe, I really didn't have that many problems with it. Other than if you've liked previous versions of the Pegasus, you may or may not like the new version just because it's pretty different. I like that they have a little more volume, a little more width, and a little more cushion in this shoe, but it still feels fairly light and responsive, even with all of that extra cushion that they've added in. Number 3, people will probably be surprised that it didn't come in higher on the list, but there's a couple things that kept this shoe from being number 1 or 2, and that is the Saucony Endorphin Speed. So this shoe is Saucony's tempo, fast workout, speed workout, maybe even race day shoe that they came out with this year. So it's going to have the same foam as the Endorphin Pro, a little bit more of it, and a nylon plate instead of a carbon fiber plate through the midsole. That means it's going to be stiff, but not as stiff as if it had a carbon fiber plate in it. What I love about this shoe is how bouncy it feels under your foot. As you come down, you really feel like it's propelling you forward as you're taken back off. Also, pretty lightweight. The only reasons it's not a little bit higher on the list is because I just wish I had a little more kind of structure, a little more stability, I guess. I just feel like as I'm on like rocks or even like uneven grass or something like that, if you're on anything other than perfect pavement, it's a little bit hard to not be twisting your ankles, falling over the edge of the shoe and that kind of thing. But this was one of my favorite shoes of the year. Coming in at number 2 is the Hoka One One Arahi 4. So the Arahi is one of Hoka's medium-ish cushion stability shoes. So it has this denser material along the medial side and back around your heel. So the only reason that this shoe wasn't higher on the list wasn't number one is because it is a stability shoe, and so that is not necessarily going to be the best thing for everyone. It was what I did all of my long runs in this year pretty much. I have done over 1,000 miles this year, 1,600, 1,700, I'm not sure exactly, miles this year, and probably I ran through another pair of Arahis. They have 600 miles on them. This has maybe 100 miles on them, so I've done probably over 700 miles in the Arahi this year, and that is just kind of a testament to how much I liked running in this shoe. And coming in at number one on my list, the best shoe in my opinion of 2020 is the Hoka One One Rincon 2. So the Rincon 1 is also awesome. They're pretty much the same thing. If you can find the one in your size, I would probably recommend doing that because it's probably a little bit cheaper and pretty much the same thing. But since it's the newer version, we'll talk about the 2. So the Rincon is a light, responsive shoe from Hoka. Feels like you're going fast whenever you're wearing it, so you could definitely wear it for your tempo days, track workouts. I know people that race in this shoe, which I would probably even consider doing myself if races ever happen again. But it also has enough cushion that if you wanted to do longer runs in it, it probably wouldn't be a problem. This shoe is $115. If you can get the Rincon 1, it's going to be even cheaper. I think I've seen them for like $93. I'm not sure about that. If you've got like a weird size or you find one somewhere. So I think that this shoe is probably also the best value for your money that you're getting out, because some of these other shoes are $130, $150, $160, and this is actually, yeah, this is the cheapest shoe on the list. Basically the only issues that I have with this shoe, and I have a video on this shoe as well that I'll leave a link to, that you can see full pros and cons on the Rincon, but the shape of it is a little bit of an issue for me, and just the durability of the shoe, especially that outsole just kind of tearing up after not that many miles on the road. But other than that, this was my favorite shoe of 2020. So everybody has their favorite shoes, so leave down in the comments what your favorite shoe was in 2020. I hope this video has been helpful, entertaining, if nothing else. Happy New Year. I'll talk to you guys next week.